The day Earth's skies changed forever began like any other. Captain Elena Reyes of the International Space Station was conducting routine maintenance on the station's solar panels when a flash of light caught her eye. At first, she dismissed it as space debris, but as she watched, the pinprick of light grew larger, its trajectory unnervingly precise. "Houston, this is ISS. We have an unidentified object approaching at high velocity. Requesting immediate verification," Elena reported, her heart racing as she realized the implications of what she was seeing. The response from Mission Control was thick with tension. "ISS, we confirm. Multiple objects detected entering Earth orbit. Stand by for further instructions." Within hours, the world below erupted into chaos as sleek, otherworldly vessels took up positions around the planet. Humanity's first contact with an alien civilization had arrived without warning, and no one was prepared for what would follow. As global leaders scrambled to formulate a response, Dr. Aidan Chen, Earth's foremost, found himself thrust into the spotlight. From his modest office at the University of Cambridge, he watched in awe as the alien ships maintained their silent vigil. "This is unprecedented," Aidan muttered to himself, his fingers flying across his keyboard as he compiled every scrap of data on the alien vessels. Their technology, their method of arrival, it all points to a civilization far beyond our own. The aliens' first transmission came 3 days after their arrival. A holographic projection appeared simultaneously in every major city on Earth, depicting a being that defied easy description. Its body was vaguely humanoid, but covered in iridescent scales that shifted colors as it moved. Multiple eyes blinked in unsettling patterns across its face. "People of Earth," the alien spoke, its words translated into every human language with eerie accuracy. "We come seeking refuge and alliance. Our home system has been destroyed by an ancient evil that now threatens this galaxy. We offer our knowledge and technology in exchange for sanctuary." The revelation sent shockwaves through human society. Governments debated, conspiracies flourished, and the populace was divided between those who welcomed the aliens and those who demanded their immediate departure. In the midst of this turmoil, Captain Elena Reyes found herself reassigned to a new task force aimed at facilitating communication with Alongside Dr. Chen and a team of Earth's brightest minds, she boarded a shuttle bound for the alien flagship. As they approached the massive vessel, Elena couldn't shake a sense of foreboding. "It's beautiful," she whispered, taking in the organic curves and pulsing lights of the alien ship. "But something doesn't feel right." Aidan nodded in agreement. "Their technology is centuries beyond ours. Why would they need our help?" Their suspicions grew as they were led through the ship's cavernous interior. The guide, who introduced itself as, seemed eager to showcase their advanced technology, but deflected questions about the threat they were fleeing. During a tour of the ship's medical bay, Elena noticed something odd. "Dr. Chen," she whispered, gesturing subtly towards a group of undergoing some kind of treatment. "Look at their injuries. Does that look like the result of fleeing a disaster to you?" Aidan's eyes widened as he took in the unmistakable signs of combat wounds. "No," he replied quietly. "Those are battle scars." As the days passed and negotiations continued, the truth began to unravel. They were not refugees, but the remnants of a once mighty empire, fleeing not from an ancient evil, but from a coalition of species they had once oppressed. The revelation came to a head during a tense meeting between Earth's representatives and the High Command. Elena and Aidan watched from the sidelines as accusations flew. "You lied to us," thundered the UN Secretary-General. "You're not seeking refuge. You're looking for a new base of operations to continue your conquest." Selfo's scales flickered with agitation. "We offered you knowledge beyond your wildest dreams. Does it matter why we came? Together, we could rule this sector of the galaxy." As the argument escalated, alarms suddenly blared throughout the ship. A junior Zarkali officer burst into the room, its scales pulsing with panic. "High Commander, the Coalition has found us. Their fleet has just entered the system. Chaos erupted as the Zarkali scrambled to battle stations. In the confusion, Elena grabbed Aiden's arm and pulled him towards the shuttle bay. "We need to warn Earth," she said urgently. "Whatever's coming, we're caught in the middle of it now." As they raced through the corridors, explosions rocked the ship. Through the viewports, they could see new vessels appearing, a diverse array of alien craft, all bearing down on the Zarkali fleet with clear hostile intent. They reached their shuttle just as another blast shook the flagship. As Elena prepped for emergency launch, Aiden managed to download a trove of Zarkali data onto a portable drive. "If we survive this," he said grimly, "Earth is going to need every advantage we can get." The shuttle burst from the Zarkali ship as the space around Earth erupted into a furious battle. Energy weapons lanced across the void, and explosions blossomed in deadly silence. As they plummeted towards the safety of Earth's atmosphere, Elena and Aiden watched in horror as the conflict they had unwittingly stumbled into raged above their home planet. "What have we gotten ourselves into?" Elena whispered, her knuckles white on the shuttle's controls. Aiden's reply was grim. "I don't know. But one thing's for certain, humanity is no longer alone in the universe, and we're about to be tested like never before." As they streaked through the atmosphere, the weight of their responsibility pressed down on them. They carried with them the knowledge that would shape humanity's response to this cosmic crucible. The choices made in the coming days would determine not just the fate of Earth, but potentially the balance of power in the galaxy itself. The shuttle landed at a secure facility where world leaders had gathered in emergency session. As Elena and Aiden were rushed into a debriefing, the sky above burned with the fury of an interstellar war that humanity never asked to join. In the coming hours, as Earth's defenses were hastily mobilized and the full scope of the galactic conflict became clear, one thing became certain: humanity would need to dig deep into its wellspring of ingenuity, courage, and determination if it hoped to survive the cosmic storm that had broken upon its shores. The age of Earth's isolation was over. Whether humanity would rise to the challenge or be swept aside by the tides of galactic politics remained to be seen. But as the first salvos of an alien war rained down upon the planet, the indomitable spirit that had carried humanity from caves to the stars began to stir. The greatest test in human history had begun. As the alien battle raged in Earth's orbit, humanity found itself thrust into a conflict beyond its comprehension. The Zarkali's deception had placed Earth in the crosshairs of a galactic war, and time was running out to mount a defense. In a fortified bunker beneath Washington, D.C., Captain Elena Reyes and Dr. Aiden Chen presented their findings to a panel of world leaders and military commanders. The atmosphere was tense, filled with a mixture of fear and determination. "The data we retrieved from the Zarkali ship confirms our worst fears," Aiden explained, projecting holographic images of star charts and alien text. "The coalition pursuing them is made up of species from across the galaxy, all united against Zarkali oppression." Elena stepped forward, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. "But there's more. The Zarkali aren't just running, they're searching for something. An ancient weapon they believe is hidden somewhere in our solar system." The room erupted into murmurs of disbelief and concern. General Lydia Hawthorne, a stern woman with graying hair, raised her voice above the din. "So we're caught between a despotic alien empire and an armada of their angry victims. How the hell are we supposed to defend ourselves against that?" As if in answer to her question, alarms blared throughout the facility. A junior officer burst into the room, his face pale. "Sir, ma'am, we're receiving a transmission from the Coalition fleet." Seconds later, a holographic figure materialized in the center of the room. The alien was avian in appearance, with iridescent feathers and piercing eyes. When it spoke, its voice was translated into a melodious yet authoritative tone. "People of Earth, I am Admiral Zixara of the Galactic Coalition. We regret that your world has been drawn into our conflict with the Zarkali. We have no quarrel with your species, but we cannot allow the Zarkali to establish a foothold in your system. Surrender them to us, and we will depart in peace." The world leaders exchanged wary glances. The US president stepped forward, her voice firm. "Admiral Zixara, we appreciate your offer, but the Zarkali have integrated their ships with our orbital defenses. Any attack on them would devastate our planet. We need time to find a peaceful resolution." Zixara's feathers ruffled in what might have been frustration. Time is a luxury we do not have. The Zarkali must be stopped before they uncover the weapon they seek. If you will not cooperate, we will have no choice but to consider your world complicit in their crimes. As the transmission ended, the room erupted into heated debate. Amidst the chaos, Elena caught Aiden's eye. A silent understanding passed between them. "General Hawthorne," Elena said, raising her voice to be heard. "Dr. Chen and I have a proposal. It's risky, but it might be our only chance to navigate this crisis." All eyes turned to them as Aiden outlined their plan. "The Zarkali need us to find this weapon, and the Coalition needs our cooperation to avoid a costly battle. What if we position ourselves as mediators? We could buy time to understand the situation better and potentially find a way to protect Earth." General Hawthorne's eyes narrowed. "You're suggesting we play both sides against the middle. That's a dangerous game, Captain." "It's dangerous," Elena agreed, "but it's also our best chance. We have something both sides want: knowledge of our solar system and potentially the location of this weapon. We use that leverage to keep Earth safe and maybe, just maybe, find a way out of this mess." After hours of tense negotiation, a plan was set in motion. Elena and Aiden would lead a joint human Zarkali expedition to search for the mysterious weapon, while Earth's diplomats worked to keep the Coalition at bay. As they prepared for their mission, Elena couldn't shake her doubts. "Are we doing the right thing?" she asked Aiden as they donned their spacesuits. "What if we actually find this weapon? We could be handing unimaginable power to a species that's already proven untrustworthy." Aiden's expression was grim but determined. "We don't have a choice. It's find the weapon or watch our planet burn. But remember, we're not just looking for the Zarkali, we're looking for a way to save Earth." Their mission began on Mars, where ancient structures had been detected beneath the planet's surface. As their ship, a hybrid of human and Zarkali technology, touched down on the red planet's surface, Elena marveled at how quickly the universe had expanded. The expedition team, a mix of humans and Zarkali, set out across the Martian landscape. Tensions were high, with neither side fully trusting the other. Zelthor, the Zarkali commander, watched the humans with a mixture of disdain and curiosity. "Your species is young," Zelthor remarked to Elena as they approached the dig site. "Yet you've already reached your neighboring planet. Perhaps there is more to humans than we initially thought." Elena bit back a retort, focusing instead on the task at hand. As they began to excavate the buried structure, Aiden made a startling discovery. "These markings," he said, running his hand over strange symbols etched into the Martian rock. "They're not Zarkali. They're not like anything I've ever seen." Zelthor pushed forward, his scales shifting colors rapidly. "Impossible. The weapon was created by our ancestors. No other species could have." He was cut off as the ground beneath them began to tremble. The symbols Aiden had touched started to glow, and suddenly the rock face split open, revealing a hidden chamber. As they cautiously entered, they found themselves in a vast, technologically advanced facility that defied their understanding. Holographic displays sprang to life around them, showing star maps and schematics of unimaginable devices. "This isn't a weapon," Aiden breathed, his eyes wide with wonder. "It's a library, a repository of knowledge from a civilization that predates both of ours." The implications were staggering. This discovery had the potential to reshape the balance of power, not just in their conflict, but across the entire galaxy. As the team delved deeper into the facility's secrets, they received an urgent communication from Earth. The Coalition's patience had run out. They were preparing to launch a full-scale assault on the Zarkali forces in Earth's orbit. Elena realized they were out of time. We need to get this information back to Earth now. It's our only bargaining chip. But as they rushed to their ship, Selthor and his Zarkali troops blocked their path. "We cannot allow you to share this knowledge," the alien commander hissed. "The power here belongs to the Zarkali alone." Tensions exploded into violence. As Elena and Aiden fought alongside their human comrades, they were forced to confront the full might of Zarkali technology. The battle raged through the ancient facility, with both sides desperate to claim its secrets. In the midst of the chaos, Aiden managed to activate one of the facility's defense systems. A pulse of energy swept through the chamber, temporarily incapacitating the Zarkali. "Run," he shouted to Elena, tossing her a data drive. "Get this back to Earth. It's everything I could download about this place. Our people need to know." Elena hesitated, unwilling to leave a friend behind. But Aiden's expression was resolute. "Go. I'll hold them off and find another way out. The fate of our world depends on it." With a heavy heart, Elena raced back to the ship. As she lifted off from the Martian surface, she saw explosions rock the facility. Tears stung her eyes as she set course for Earth, the weight of their discovery and the potential loss of her friend bearing down on her. As Elena's ship approached Earth, she was confronted with a sight that chilled her to the bone. The Coalition fleet had arrived in full force, facing off against the combined Zarkali and human defenses. The planet she called home hung in the balance, unknowingly dependent on the information she carried. With time running out and the fate of humanity hanging by a thread, Elena prepared to make her final approach. The knowledge she carried had the power to change everything, but would it be enough to stop the impending catastrophe? As her ship streaked towards the embattled planet, Elena steeled herself for what was to come. The next few hours would determine not just the fate of Earth, but potentially the course of galactic history. Part 3. The Cosmic Crucible. Elena's ship hurtled through the chaos of Earth's orbit, narrowly avoiding debris and weapons fire from the clash between Coalition. The planet below was a swirl of blue and white, peaceful from this distance, unaware of the cosmic drama unfolding above. "This is Captain Elena Reyes requesting emergency clearance for landing. I have critical information from the Mars expedition," she broadcast on all frequencies, hoping someone would hear her over the din of battle. A familiar voice crackled through her. "Captain Reyes, this is General Hawthorne. Thank God you're alive. We're transmitting coordinates for a secure landing site now." As Elena guided her ship through Earth's atmosphere, the full scale of the conflict became apparent. Major cities had activated experimental energy shields, shimmering domes that barely held against the occasional stray shot from the space battle above. Military bases worldwide were on high alert, their weapons trained skyward in a futile show of defiance against the vastly superior alien forces. The ship touched down at a hidden facility in the Rocky Mountains. Elena was immediately whisked into a war room where Earth's leaders had gathered. The tension in the air was palpable. "Captain, report," General Hawthorne demanded as soon as Elena entered. Taking a deep breath, Elena recounted their discoveries on Mars, the ancient repository of knowledge, and the confrontation with they. She handed over the data drive Aiden had given her, her voice catching as she mentioned his sacrifice. As the information was quickly analyzed, looks of awe and concern spread across the faces of those present. "This changes everything," the US president muttered, studying the holographic displays of the alien technology. A scientist spoke up, her eyes wide with excitement and fear. "The technology in this database, it's beyond anything we've ever imagined. Faster than light travel, energy manipulation on a stellar scale, even the theoretical possibility of time manipulation." General Hawthorne's expression hardened. "And now they have access to this information too. We need to act fast." As if on cue, alarms blared throughout the facility. A communications officer rushed in. Sir, we're receiving simultaneous transmissions from both the Coalition and Tsar Kelly fleets. The holographic projectors flickered to life, revealing Admiral Zixara of the Coalition and High Commander Vexlo of the Tsar Kelly. The contrast between them was stark. Zixara's avian features rigid with determination, Vexlo's scaled visage rippling with barely contained rage. Humans, Vexlo snarled, you have betrayed our alliance. Surrender the Mars facility data immediately, or watch your world burn. Zixara's response was equally stern. People of Earth, you've been deceived by the Tsar Kelly. Give us access to the repository's location, and we'll protect your world from their tyranny. The room erupted into heated debate. Some argued for siding with the Coalition, others for trying to maintain the fragile alliance with the Tsar Kelly. A few even suggested destroying the data to prevent either side from gaining an advantage. Amidst the chaos, Elena found her voice. Wait, she shouted, silencing the room. We're looking at this all wrong. This knowledge doesn't belong to any one species. It was left behind by an ancient civilization, perhaps as a gift or a test for those who came after. She turned to address the alien leaders directly. Neither of you has the right to demand this information from us, but we're willing to share it under one condition: an immediate ceasefire and the beginning of peace negotiations with Earth as a neutral party. Her proposal was met with scoffs from both sides, but Elena pressed on, emboldened by the support she saw growing among the Earth's leaders. Think about it. This repository contains knowledge that could benefit all our civilizations, but it also holds power that could destroy us all if misused. We need to approach this wisely together. For a tense moment, silence reigned. Then, surprisingly, it was Vexilor who spoke first. The human makes a valid point. We've seen firsthand the dangers of wielding power we don't fully understand. Zixara's feathers ruffled in what might have been agreement. A ceasefire would allow us to examine this discovery without the pressure of immediate conflict. As negotiations began in earnest, Elena allowed herself a moment of hope. But that hope was shattered as a junior officer burst into the room, his face pale with fear. Multiple unidentified objects have just appeared at the edge of our solar system, he reported breathlessly. They're massive, unlike anything we've ever seen, and they're heading straight for Earth. The holographic displays shifted to show the newcomers, colossal, biomechanical structures that defied easy description. They moved with purpose, their very presence seeming to warp the space around them. Zixara's eyes widened in recognition and fear. Impossible. They're only a legend, a story to frighten hatchlings. Vexilo's scales had turned a sickly pale color. The harvesters, they're real. What are you talking about? General Hawthorne demanded. What are these things? It was Zixara who answered, her voice solemn. They are the reason the ancients disappeared. A force that consumes entire civilizations, assimilating their knowledge and technology before moving on. Our oldest records speak of them as a galactic cycle of destruction. And we just rang the dinner bell, Elena realized aloud. The activation of the Mars facility must have alerted them. As the implications sank in, a grim silence fell over the room. The petty conflicts between their species suddenly seemed insignificant in the face of this overwhelming threat. The US president was the first to break the silence. Then we have no choice. Humanity, Tsar Kelly, coalition, we must stand together, or we'll fall alone. What followed was a flurry of activity unlike anything in human history. The combined fleets of Earth, the Tsar Kelly, and the coalition began hasty preparations for a defense against an enemy none of them truly understood. Elena found herself promoted to admiral, placed in command of a joint species task force charged with unlocking the secrets of the Mars repository in hopes of finding a weapon against the harvesters. As she boarded the flagship of this unprecedented alliance, a converted Tsar Kelly dreadnought, Elena couldn't help but marvel at how quickly the universe had changed. Humans worked alongside former enemies, united by a common, terrifying purpose. Her new crew was a hodgepodge of species: humans, Zarkali, and various coalition races. Among them was a familiar face, Aiden, who had managed to escape Mars and make his way back to Earth. "Quite a promotion," he said with a tired smile as he joined her on the bridge. "Ready to save the galaxy, Admiral Reyes?" Elena gazed out at the vast expanse of space, where the first glimmers of the approaching Harvester fleet were becoming visible. "Ready or not, we don't have a choice. Let's just hope this repository holds the key to our survival." As the ship hummed to life around them, preparing to jump to the Mars facility, Elena felt the weight of not just humanity, but countless alien civilizations on her shoulders. The greatest battle in the history of the galaxy was about to begin, and somehow, improbably, humanity had found itself at the center of it all. The cosmic crucible awaited, and the fate of all sentient life hung in the balance. The joint fleet materialized in Mars orbit, a testament to the unprecedented cooperation between formerly adversarial species. Admiral Elena Reyes stood on the bridge of the flagship, the Unity, her eyes fixed on the red planet below. The ancient facility they had discovered held the key to their survival, but time was running short. "Status report," Elena commanded, her voice steady despite the tension coursing through her. Zarkali Lieutenant Kexley, her newly appointed second-in-command, responded promptly. "The Harvester fleet will reach the outer edges of our solar system in approximately 72 Earth hours, Admiral. Our combined forces are at 63% combat readiness." Dr. Aiden Chen, now serving as the chief xenoarchaeologist of the mission, added, "We've managed to reactivate the facility's primary systems. But there's a problem. The core database is locked behind layers of security we've never seen before." Elena's brow furrowed. "We don't have time for careful archaeology. Prepare a landing party. We're going down there ourselves." As they descended to the Martian surface, Elena couldn't shake a sense of déjà vu. But this time, instead of distrust and competition, there was a palpable sense of unity among the diverse group of beings in the shuttle. The facility hummed with renewed energy as they entered. Holographic displays flickered to life, showing incomprehensible streams of data and star charts that spanned the galaxy. "It's like the whole history of the universe is recorded here," Aiden breathed, his eyes wide with wonder. Zixara, the Coalition admiral who had joined their expedition, trilled softly. "Not just history. I believe this facility was designed to be a failsafe, a way to rebuild civilization after a harvester cycle." As they delved deeper into the facility, they encountered increasingly complex security measures: energy fields, gravity traps, and puzzles that require the combined knowledge of multiple species to solve. "It's testing us," Elena realized, "making sure we're worthy of the knowledge it holds." Hours ticked by as they worked tirelessly to unlock the facility's secrets. With each barrier overcome, they gained tantalizing glimpses of technologies beyond their comprehension, ways to manipulate the very fabric of space-time, energy sources that could power entire galaxies, and weapons capable of reshaping reality itself. But the final lock proved to be the most challenging. A shimmering barrier blocked their access to the central core, covered in symbols from a dozen different alien languages. "It's a moral test," Aiden declared after studying the inscriptions. "We need to prove we understand the responsibility that comes with this power." As they debated the ethical implications of wielding such advanced technology, alarms blared throughout the facility. Kexley's voice came through their communicators, panic evident in the Zarkali's tone. "Admiral, the harvesters have accelerated. They'll reach Mars in less than an hour." Elena's heart raced. They were out of time. In desperation, she placed her hand on the barrier and spoke from her heart. "We come here not for power or conquest, but for survival. Not just for ourselves, but for all sentient life. We pledge to use this knowledge wisely, to protect and nurture, never to destroy or dominate." For a moment, nothing happened. Then, with a sound like 1,000 wind chimes, the barrier dissolved. The core opened, revealing a pulsing orb of pure energy. The heart of creation, Zixara whispered in awe. The source of the ancients' power. As they marveled at the discovery, the facility shuddered. Through the viewports, they could see the first wave of the Harvester fleet entering Mars orbit. Colossal ships, more organic than mechanical, bristling with weapons beyond their understanding. "We need to get this back to the fleet," Elena ordered. "It's our only chance." But as they turned to leave, a holographic figure materialized before them, a being of pure light, with features that seemed to blend aspects of every species present. "You have proven yourselves worthy," the figure spoke, its voice resonating in their minds. "But the true test is yet to come. The power you seek can save you from the Harvesters, but it can also remake the galaxy in your image. Choose wisely." With those cryptic words, the figure vanished, leaving them with the heart of creation and an impossible choice. As they raced back to their shuttle, the weight of their decision pressed down on them. The Harvester ships began their assault on Mars, their weapons tearing through the planet's crust with terrifying ease. "We can't let them get the heart," Aiden shouted over the rumble of explosions. Helena nodded grimly. "Plot a course through the battle. We need to reach the Unity." What followed was the most harrowing flight of Elena's life. Their shuttle weaved through a maelstrom of energy beams and debris, the combined fleet engaging the first wave of Harvesters in a desperate holding action. As they approached the Unity, a massive Harvester ship moved to intercept them. Its hull opened like a blooming flower, revealing an array of biomechanical tendrils reaching out to ensnare their tiny craft. "Evasive maneuvers," Elena ordered, but she knew it was hopeless. They were too close, too slow. Just as the tendrils were about to grasp them, a barrage of fire from the Unity blasted the Harvester ship, creating an opening. They shot through, smoke trailing from their engines, and crash-landed in the Dreadnought's hangar bay. Elena stumbled out of the shuttle, the heart of creation clutched tightly in her arms. The ship shuddered under the assault of the Harvester fleet. "Get that to the main reactor," Kexley shouted as they rushed through the corridors. "It's our only chance." They reached the heart of the ship, where engineers from a dozen species worked frantically to integrate the ancient power source with their own technology. As the final connections were made, Elena hesitated, the words of the holographic being echoed in her mind. This power could save them, but at what cost? "Admiral," Aiden said softly, placing a hand on her shoulder. "Whatever happens, we face it together. All of us." Elena looked around at the diverse crew, humans, Zarkali, coalition members, all united in this moment. She made her decision. "Activate it," she commanded, "but not at full power. We use only what we need to survive." The heart of creation pulsed, and energy beyond imagining flooded through the ship. The Unity's weapons flared to life, cutting through the Harvester fleet like paper. But Elena's choice had consequences. The limited power was enough to drive back the Harvesters, but not to destroy them completely. As the massive alien ships retreated to the edges of the solar system, Elena knew this was only a temporary victory. On the main view screen, she watched as the remaining Harvesters regrouped. They had bought themselves time, but the true battle was yet to come. "Send a message to Earth and all our allies," Elena ordered, her voice resolute. "We found a way to fight back, but we'll need every ship, every mind, every ounce of courage we can muster." As the crew sprang into action, preparing for the greatest conflict in galactic history, Elena allowed herself a moment of reflection. They had unlocked the power of the ancients, but had chosen a path of restraint. The real challenge now was not just to survive, but to prove worthy of the legacy they had inherited. The fate of not just humanity, but all sentient life in the galaxy, now rested on the choices they would make in the coming battle. Elena steeled herself for the trials ahead, knowing that the true test of their worth was just beginning.